Hi guys, so we just recently released version 1.3 of our new AlgoPro indicator. So once you sign up for AlgoPro, you'll have to go to your indicators here at the top, down to your drop downs to find our tools. So let's go ahead and pull this up on the chart. Now this is uses our core algo from version 1.2, but adds in tons of confluence and customization options, as well as a back testing panel to relay more information to be able to optimize to your trading style. So the first thing, when you put this on your chart, you'll see that there's a lot more visual overlays as well. So looking here, we have some pivot and order blocks that are built into the version 1.3, and we pretty much put in as many options as possible so that you can use this one indicator rather than having to have, let's say, 5 different indicators on your chart at one time to get all the information you want, like order blocks or range detection. So let's go ahead and jump into the settings of the V1.3 here. Now this is a extremely lengthy script. We've put in as many options as possible for you to be able to add confluence to your trade. That's one thing we see lacking right now in the industry, is there's a lot of tools, but you can't really customize for confluence. The most important thing is to be able to filter out these false signals to each asset you're trading. So the more options you have for confluence that need to trigger together for an entry, the more accurate of a signal you're going to get. Now you'll see here in the settings, it starts off with just some visual overlays of what you want to show. If you want to show the take profit and stop loss. So right now, you can see there's we hit stop loss on this last trade. So the take profit and stop loss lines are not going to show if the stop loss is hit or the take profit 3 is hit. Once one of those are hit, the stop loss labels and take profit labels will be automatically hidden, just so your chart is a little more clean looking. Now, one thing we recommend with all of our indicators is to use Heiken Ashi candles. And this is just because with this type of tool, when you're looking for trend signals, Heiken provides a much more smoother price action that is able to detect trends much easier. So as you can see here, we had a fake out, and that's a lot more liable to happen with real candles, as you're going to get some crazy wicks and some very volatile price action. And what Heiken Ashi does is it smooths that price action out to an average, and it makes it much easier to have signals that have more confluence and that detect trends and market shifts much easier. And it's a lot easier to avoid fake outs like that. So let's go ahead and switch to Heiken Ashi candles. You'll do that up here at the top. And you can already see after switching, the signals are a lot more cleaner. There's less fake outs. You can see that fake out that was down here is now gone because of the smoothed out price action. And another thing with Heiken Ashi, you will have less signals using this candle style, but we prefer to have less signals that are more accurate than to have more signals on regular candlesticks that are more liable to fake outs or false signals in some volatile price action. You can also see here on this buy signal, we haven't hit take profit 3 yet, so you can see our take profit and stop loss lines that are active right now. So once we hit that third one, these overlays will automatically hide for you, and you can also turn these off in the settings if you just want to use these. Now we're on SPY on the 15-minute right now. Looking back, you can see we've had some pretty good signals that have hit all their take profit markers. And when you go down the back tester here, you'll see each trade, and it will also tell you the win percentage of each individual take profit. So you can see for the take profit 1 here, which is this first line here, our longs or our buys have hit that marker 60% of the time out of the trades, and sales or shorts have hit 54% of the time. And it also relays that information for take profit 2 and take profit 3. And these stop loss and take profit lines can be customized in settings. Now our take profit and stop loss system uses the ATR or average true range, and it's just very good at finding markers on an asset that could be possible support or resistance. So each of these take profit lines are meaningful. They're not random. They are markers that this could be a likely marker that price action will hit. And the same thing with the stop loss down here with the ATR. This marker is a good indication of where support would lie. So we're looking to have our stop loss at a spot where price is likely to bounce before hitting. So let's go ahead and jump into the settings here to show more of the customization and the confluence system we've added into this indicator. So in the settings here, here's where you will customize your take profit and stop loss sensitivities. Adjusting these will either widen each or shorten each for smaller or larger targets. The first main thing is the buy sell signal candle expiry. Now with this system, we're wanting here's our options for confluence that whatever you have selected here needs to signal together to get a signal. So of course, the less things you have selected, the more signals you're going to get. The more things you have selected, the less signals you're going to get. So with the candle expiry option, whatever you have in this input is the amount of bars that our system will wait for all of your selected confluence options to fire together. If they don't fire together within the amount of bars you have set in here, the signal will be ignored and skipped. So with default, these are our default options that we have selected here. So all of these options have to signal and trigger together within 5 bars to get an active signal. So let's say we have our core system and the RQK here. So if our core system fired here and RQK fired here, we'd still get a signal. But if, let's say, our core system fired here and the RQK fired 6 candles later, that signal would have been ignored because they didn't fire within that time frame. You can also change your main trading signal. And what that is the leading indicator to perform a trade. This signal has to be fired first. So you can use any that we have in our confluence options here, and that will lead before the rest of the indicators you have chosen just to trigger a trade. Now we won't go through all of these because that would take an enormous amount of time, but these are all of the confluence options that you have to filter out signals or add confluence to your trade. Many of these you'll know. Many of these you maybe won't know. And a lot of these are either very popular technicals that are commonly used in the industry of trading. A lot of these are also custom popular indicators that have existed on TradingView that are very popular and useful. For example, maybe the QQE mod. That was a custom indicator that was made a while ago. That's a very popular option for low time frame traders. So if you wanted to use that as confluence in your trade, you could select that, and that would have to be triggered within whatever amount of candles you have set here with the rest of the system that you have selected to get a signal on your chart. So another good indicator to maybe add to confluence, if you wanted to say avoid choppy price action, would be the ADX and DMI. Another confluence option that is very popular would be the super trend. We all know super trend. It was one of the first really breakout indicators when the TradingView platform launched. So if you wanted to use that combined with for your confluence options with all these other ones, you'd have to have price break above or below super trend within the same candles here to get that signal. And if you go through all these options, we have little tooltips on the side here that you could look at that kind of explains a little bit of what they do. And if you want to learn more about some of these, you can just look them up, as you'll be able to find information on them, like BX Trender or the chandelier exit here. That's another popular one. So we've included all of these to really help filter out signals to really cater to the style you want. If you want a lot of signals, you can do that. You can use very few options and turn the sensitivities way down to get as many signals as you want. If you want fewer signals, but let's say maybe more accurate, then you're going to want to use more confluence in your trade. That's what is going to filter out these false signals that you get with very sensitive settings. Now, within all of these confluence options, if you go down in our script, you can see that the settings for each one of those can also be tweaked to optimize further. It's a very, very long script, so load time may be a little slower, but it is the most powerful script we have ever made, and we're very happy with the performance we're getting from it right now. So each of the things you have selected, you can tweak to optimize further. And what I'll also dive into that a little more when we look into the V1.3 bot, a guide and a method to help you optimize your indicator. You also have more options for visual overlays. So right now we have our range detection overlaid on our chart, as well as supply and demand zones, as you can see here. And you can add more options, like if you wanted to have if you weren't using Heiken Ashi like we are, and you're using normal candles, we have an overlay for Heiken Ashi if you wanted to just use that as a visual baseline instead of using your signals on the actual Heiken Ashi candles. We also have market sessions, FVGs or fair value gaps, as well as liquidity zones that you can overlay to really help add further confluence other than your signals to your trades. So you probably noticed we're using the core system, which is our system from the V1.2 that is very popular. That is the leading system in this indicator. And here's where you'll tweak your sensitivity and multiplier. That's what we use for the main signal. You can see here at the top, that's the results we found that are the best. Our core system is the main trading signal, and adding confluence to it has been what has been most profitable. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom of the settings here, you'll find our backtester dashboard. Now you can change, it's this dashboard here on the bottom right hand corner. You can change the date from where you want to backtest. So say you wanted to backtest the last 6 months, you can change your start date here, and it will just relay just those 6 months of trading in the panel here. Now there are tons and tons of customization options in this script. Even our market sessions, you can come and customize which sessions you want to show, if you want to show on weekends or not, that type of thing. Now these are our default settings here. When you are in our Discord, if you're a VIP member, all of our bot alerts in our Discord are sent from these settings. So let's say on Spy here, and we also use Heiken Ashi for our alerts, you would have got this signal in Discord and an alert in Discord for every take profit that is hit with the exact price. And we do that for stocks, indices, things like gold, crypto, futures, any asset in any market. We have Discord alerts for there that you can find. Now you can find optimized settings further for assets for this indicator by just playing around with it and tweaking it yourself. And we recommend you really kind of dive in and just explore these different options just to get familiar with self-optimizing yourself on these kind of tools, because it's very helpful. But we have a bot version of the V1.3, and you can use our bot optimizer Chrome extension to really help you optimize for whatever asset and time frame you're trying to trade. So right now we're just looking at the indicator version of this, and you can also set alerts for any signal on this. If you go to these three dots next to our indicator name, you're going to go to add alert, and right here in this drop down you'll see all the alert options. You can get alert for buy sell signals, as well as all the take profit and stop loss options. And when creating alerts, you're going to want to use once per bar close. So our main goal with the 1.3 system was really to, let's say, instead of using our 1.2 and kind of using our own confluence system, say we're trading the V1.2 and we only take signals if it's above this trend line or this other EMA cloud or this order block or that kind of thing. We really wanted a system that was all built into and you didn't have to think about. You could just build it into the system. The signals were going to mean that already and filter out those false signals, and that you could just follow the system that way instead of having to manually really put in more work than you need to. So what I want to do is kind of show you how to optimize for whatever you're wanting to trade. So for that, we're going to use our bot system. So the V1.3 bot is this exact script here, but in strategy form, so we can actually backtest and optimize it easier. And then if, let's say you optimize it with the 1.3 bot, but don't want to use a strategy while you're trading in your normal day, you could download the settings from the bot and upload them directly into the indicator version of the V1.3 as well, and just use them there. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to the AlgoPro V1.3 bot, and we're going to go ahead and hide this one. We're also going to be optimizing on Heiken Ashi candles. So first thing, if you're going to use the bot version on Heiken Ashi to backtest, you need to go to the settings, go to the properties here at the top, click using standard OHLC. This must be done if you're going to backtest on Heiken Ashi to get accurate results. So what this does is uses the real-time price wherever a signal is fired, instead of using the average price that Heiken Ashi usually uses. So by doing this, we'll get accurate results. So make sure you have that selected if you are using our signals on this candle style. So when you open the settings of the 1.3 bot here, there's only a few differences. One difference is we have automation commands if you wanted to automate it. Strategies are much easier to automate than indicators. So you would take your third-party automation commands, insert them here, and then you would follow our step-by-step guide to create that alert to automate it. Other than that, everything is the same besides the take profit options here. So it's a little more customizable to the indicator. You can choose which take profits you want to use. If you want to use all three, you'll have all three selected. And also the percentage at which the trade closes on a take profit. So here we have 50%. So anytime price reaches this first take profit, we're only closing 50% of our trade. And then for take profit 2, we're only closing 30% of our trade. And then by having 100% here, whatever equity is left, take profit 3 will close. So in this case, the third take profit is closing 20% of our trade. These are fully customizable to whatever you want to make them. If you want to just use 100% on take profit 1 and use that one only and not the other two, you could do that, or any other type of take profit percentages you wanted to use. So you can see using the default settings here in our backtester, this is the monthly performance, and this is the overall TradingView stats just relayed onto your chart. So you can see we're at 37% profit on our default settings at 73% win rate, and this is all take profits combined. You'll notice here the total trades is higher than the trades that are shown here. And why that is because in this backtesting panel here, each sell or buy is only counted as one trade through all of the take profits. So sell to take profit 1 to 2 to 3 is one single trade. In the backtester, what it's doing is it's counting sell to take profit 1 as one trade, sell to take profit 2 to one trade, and sell to take profit 3 as one trade. So that's why you're going to get this differentiation here between the panels, is the TradingView backtester counts these trades as separate trades when backtesting. So these default settings already perform relatively well on SPY on the 15-minute, but we're going to see if we can optimize them further for this asset. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to use our Chrome extension that optimizes any TradingView strategy. You can do that by going to our website and going to our guide. And there you can go down to AlgoPro Bot Optimizer, and we'll have a link here to download our optimizer, and it's free to anyone to use. So once you have that downloaded, go back to our chart here. So make sure you have your bot already on with your strategy tester up, and we're going to go up here. This is our optimizer here. And there's a lot of different customization options for how you want to optimize. So if you wanted to optimize for net profit all only, which is what we recommend to do, of course, or you can, let's say if you wanted to use only longs or only shorts, you can optimize that way. Or if you wanted to optimize for a good profit factor, you can choose profit factor or even win rate. So we recommend to use random improvement when you're optimizing. That will get you optimized settings the fastest, instead of doing something like sequential, which would take much longer and probably yield results that are not as good as random improvement would. You can also deep test your bot by using this option and using whatever date you want to use. So if you want to back test the full history of SPY, which goes back to 2000 on TradingView, you could input 2000 here and deep back test that far, but that would take a very long time. The further back the date for deep back testing, the longer that's going to take to optimize your bot. So we have the 1.3 on our chart, the bot version, of course. So we're going to go ahead and start testing. So you're going to hit test strategy here. And what that's going to do is upload all of the parameters into our tester, which is a lot. This is a very long script to test, so it may take some time. So what we're really wanting to do is just find a baseline setting to optimize for. We're not going to really tweak a lot yet. Like, we're not going to tweak the fine details of all of the confluence we use, because that will take longer than this would. So if we want to only test the baseline, what we recommend to do is only test the confluence options without the setting details of those options, and also test the take profit stop loss and test the percentages that you're using for those. So we want to deselect everything right now. We're just going to go through and select what we want to use for this test. So the things we want to test here are the take profit sensitivity and length, as well as the stop loss. We don't want to test this because we want to use all of the take profits in this test. We're going to do the percentages, and we want to set each percentage to 100%. And we're going to set each step to 5. So what the step is, oops, I messed that up a little bit. So what the step does is, this is the minimum range we're testing to the maximum range, which means the tester will test from 25 to 100, not outside of those or under 25. And it will go in a step of 5. So it would test maybe 50% or 55% or 60%. The higher you have your step, the faster your optimizer is going to go, of course. If you have, let's say, 1 instead of 5, it's going to, of course, take longer to test those options. So make sure your step makes sense for whatever your min and max inputs are. So something like here on the buy sell signal candle expiry, since we're only testing to 10, it makes sense to have this at 1 or even 2, but we recommend 1 for this specific signal. We're also going to test the main trading signal. Now here are our main things we want to be testing. All of the true false options, which are confluence. So we're going to select all of these. So now we have all of our confluence options selected. Those are the main thing we want to test here. We're not going to we're not going to further test, let's say, the settings of the volatility oscillator. We won't want to dive into that yet. We just want to find what confluence options are performing well for this asset when they are firing together. So you want to leave out any visual overlays we're not going to use. You want to select the AlgoPro sensitivity and multiplier, since that's the main trading signal we're using. That's the only setting detail for any of the options we're going to use in this test. And the rest of these options you're just going to leave blank. What you could do is, once you test and find what baseline confluence settings work, you could select the setting details for those specific options and then run further tests to find even better settings for your signals. So since we have all those selected, make sure we have everything covered here. Okay, those are the only things we're going to use here. Now what you want to do is put in how many cycles you want to run. We're just going to run 200 cycles on this test. We might even stop it before it gets there. You don't have to, whatever you put in your cycles, you don't have to run fully. You can run until if you see some settings you like, you can stop the bot, take a look at the settings, save them, and then continue running if you want. But for this test, we're just going to do 200 and see where we get with this. So once you have that set in, you just hit save and run, and the optimizer will start running and testing all of the parameter inputs that you have selected to find the most optimized settings to use for this asset. So we're going to let this run for a bit and find some settings for us, and then we'll come back and take a look at them. So we just finished up our small test here on SPY on the 15-minute with our optimizer. And as you can see, we've improved our results some from just this small test to 58% net profit, with a really good profit factor of almost 1.8 and 421 total trades between our short TP1, TP3, or just 191 total complete trades. So these are our settings that we would trade off or use as a baseline. And what you could do further is find what your optimized settings were from that test, and then go in and test further for each of these individually. So what we might do is just run another test and uncheck everything except for the settings of either our core system, the RQK, or the Donchian trend ribbon. And all those settings are selectable down here, and it'll tell you which settings are which under the label, and you can input those parameters into the tester and then test further to improve those results even more. And also with our optimizer, if you look at the bottom of your settings panel, you'll see these upload and download buttons. So what you can do is download these settings. It'll download a CSV file, and then you can go to our indicator here, go to the settings, and then you can upload those directly into this, and those settings will be applied to the indicator if you just want to use that to trade daily instead of using the bot with the strategy tester on it. Another thing I forgot to mention is we also have an options trading mode that you can enable. So we'll enable that here just so you can see what that does. And what that will do, as you can see on the chart here, it'll turn our buy and sell signals into more detailed signals that you can use for options. So let's say for this what was a sell signal would be you would buy a put, and it will give you a strike price to aim for, and it'll tell you the probability of hitting that strike price and the average candles to strike, which what that tells you is, depending on what time frame you're on, is how long it usually takes for price to hit whatever the strike price is. So in this instance, it's an average of 10 candles on the 15-minute time frame. So you would just do 15 times 10 to find the average time frame it takes to get to that price, which would which would be what you base your expiration date off of. And that's pretty much a complete little rundown of the new version 1.3. It's definitely our most powerful system to date, and it can be customized to any style of trading, whether it's very few signals for long swing trades and higher take profit targets, or if you want to scalp and use really low take profit targets and have more signals, it really can be optimized and customized to cater to whatever style you're wanting to trade, especially with our back tester version, where you can really precisely optimize it to how you're wanting to trade it, and to feel really confident about your trades, because you have that back testing data to base off and see that actually has had success in the past. And again, you don't have to trade using Heiken Ashi candles if that's not your preference. We just recommend Heiken Ashi because it really helps determine the trend a lot easier. It gets rid of noise, avoids fake outs. As you can see, it avoided all these little scam wicks up and all this choppiness. It avoided that, and then we had a clean buy over here. So it really just filters out a lot of false signals and helps really determine the greater trend better than normal candlesticks. But this system does work really well on normal candles too, and can be optimized for that as well. And the system does work on any asset and any time frame, whether it be stocks, futures, crypto, whether it be the 1 minute or the 1 hour. It can be perfectly customized to cater to whatever asset and market and time frame you're going to be trading on. We also have a section in our Discord where our users are testing with the bot version, and they're posting some good trading setups for whatever they're trading, so you can really find some useful information to help you in your optimization journey there. Of course, the 1.3 and 1.3 bot are both included in our premium package. Our premium packages are all-inclusive packages. They include every tool that's in our suite, and it also includes our market screener as well as our trading journal interface. All of that is included in all of our plans.